What are you doing?
He just goes and you go around, you eat things, and you try to kill ghosts. I don't really know what the point. What is the point of Pac-Man? Is that all you're supposed to do? Is eat things?
I think so.
Oh my God. I don't get it. Is it metaphorical? Anyways, let me tell you about barbershops, okay? So I've been fortunate enough to have my spouse a barber for the past 9 years, so I don't have to worry about finding another barbershop to go get my beard trimmed. But the last barber that I went to, though, was in Ottawa, and it was in summertime, and it was this Filipino ran place, and it was the middle of summer, it was super hot, and I ran down because I was going to be late, and I got there and I was sweating, and I said, oh my God, I'm so sorry, like I'm a little bit late, and I was running outside, I'm sweating, and she said, yeah, I know, you're fat. And I said, what? No, it's hot out. She's like, yeah, you're fat. And I thought it was super, super rude to say to me, and it hurt my feelings. And the sad thing is, I was like 15 pounds lighter back then, you know? It really hurt my feelings. And then I have to play this, and he's just eating things. It's reminding me of that. But they also botched my beard trim. I'll put a picture up here, and I'll show you that it's all kind of outlined. But that's neither here nor there. We're at Kings and Little Ones Barbershop in Cornwall, Ontario. I'm Wade Barris, and this is Indie Business. Is this metaphorical or something like that you're just supposed to eat and then chase a ghost? I don't really understand.
I think so.
Okay, so the thing about that story, and I wasn't going to bring it up, I was just going to leave it, but the lady at that barbershop in that story, well, she was very overweight too. I wasn't going to bring it up, but whatever, okay? But I do love Filipinos. I used to work at an egg carton factory, and there's this lovely older Filipino lady there, and I kept signing her up for the Amazing Race Canada TV show behind her back. But we never got chosen. Anyways, this is an episode on Kings and Little Ones Barbershop. We sat down with owner Josh Casselman, whose thriving business has been serving the community for over a decade. Let's get to the interview. And for the record, Filipinos are awesome. We're here with owner Josh Casselman of Kings and Little Ones in Cornwall, Ontario. Josh, thank you for doing this. Now, in your own words, just kind of walk us through kind of what led to the decision to open up the small business, 11 years ago?
Yeah, it's been quite a while. So we'll be 11 years open August 1st. But when you talk about getting there, it's probably closer to 12 before you actually open your door and whatnot. So yeah, it's a bit of a reach back, but funny story. I was just at one of the usual places locally and getting a haircut, as I always did. And at some point, I was thinking, this experience sucks. And it wasn't so much the barber, it was the environment. Beside me was a woman with hair foilers on. There was a woman's magazine on the counter. There was an awkward waiting area at the front with chairs jammed together and nobody talked. And I was like, we can do better than this. I think the timing was just really good too. I was a little bit at the front of the whole barbershop renaissance coming back. And I wanted to do that. I'm like, I want to bring a place back that's actually focused on the guy, not a place that a guy can get a cut, but they're still focused on the women. And that's what it was. So I'd already been kicking around a couple different business ideas. My wife quickly shot them all down. This is the first one that I pitched to her, and she was like, oh no, I think you're onto something with this one. And the funny thing is, I'm the one with the business background, but I'll spend 3 months trying to figure out if it's a good idea or not. And she's done in like a minute or two. She knows like red flag right away. And yeah, so that's essentially where the whole thing started. And then it just snowballs from there, right? You start getting into the concept of it. What's it going to look like? Play it through your head. And once you're excited about it, you're doing that all day long. You're doing it in your sleep. All you're thinking about is, what am I going to name my new business? And you don't even have a place yet. You don't have employees, you don't have anything. Speaking of the name, though, it's kind of a fun one at the beginning. I eventually turned to stuff I enjoy in my life, and that was Christmas poker with my family. And this is well before the whole Texas Hold'em thing blew up. We used to play nickel dime ante games. The dealer would call the draw, and then you deal the cards out and off we go. So there was games like AC Doocy, One-Eyed Jack, Man with the Axe, Fire on the Cross, and eventually I came around, there's many more, but I came around to Kings and Little Ones. And as soon as I hit the name, I was like, that's the name. It focuses on the guy, but it still leaves it open for other people to use the shop. And I think in a smaller town like Cornwall, versus a bigger city. You do need to be a little bit more open on your market. And so it was perfect. And I spent about 6 more months working on the business plan. I was still working a full-time job at the time with Bell Canada. Eventually you start to get more confident in your business idea. We started to share with family and friends. And one person I can remember asking nervously, well, who's going to work for you? And I gave them the Field of Dreams answer. I was like, I don't know, but I'm going to build it and I hope they come. And that's exactly what it was. I signed a lease for this space, committed to a year. We completely gutted it. It's a building built in like 1880, completely redid the electrical, completely brought it in from the studs with the layout that we created, hired a designer, didn't end up using that design at all because at the end of the day, I am the target market. I am the guy. Yep. I wanted the 27-inch TVs at each station. She's like, you're going to burn their eyeballs out. And I'm like, you don't get it. She wanted to put like 13-inch TVs in. I'm like, no, like I threw it all in the garbage for like $2,500. And eventually, January 1st, 2015, we get a business license. We're in the middle of gutting this place and renoing. Finish the renos that summer. People start getting interested. They see what's going on. Barbers start inquiring, what is it that you're building? We can see it's a barbershop coming. They like what they're peeking in the windows at. Hire 4 barbers. We open the doors August 1st to a pack house.
So what was from the concept to the opening day, roughly how long was that?
Concept to opening day, probably about a year and a half.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so just describe what the opening day was like. So for a year and a half to kind of have this plan and then finally to be able to open up the door and see this actually come to fruition, what was that feeling like? I'm sure there would have been some nerves or would it have been excitement? Yeah,
absolutely nerves. Looking back, the day was an absolute blur. You've been spending all your time. At this point, I'd already ditched the full-time job. So now I'm fully committed
into this.
This has got to work. My family's depending on it. They didn't want to be entrepreneurs, but lo and behold, you're all entrepreneurs when I'm an entrepreneur. And so family and friends are here. Everyone wants to talk to you, share their support. Congratulations. There's actually barbers cutting people, so they are jammed up with people standing around them. The general public's flooding through the door. Beautiful sunny August 1st day. Charity barbecue at the back going on, raising funds. And I think we were open 9 to 2 and the day just went by like that.
Like you said, it would be a complete blur.
Blur.
Yeah. You would have got good sleep probably that night, right?
Yeah, so at the end of that day, complete blur. You're thinking, wow, okay, that was awesome. And everyone leaves and you debrief with the barbers. Good job. This went well. This went bad. And you're like, you pick everything up, you turn the lights off, and you're like, oh my God, I have to do this again tomorrow.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it is.
And the day after, and the day after that, and
if things go well.
Yeah. If you're lucky, you get to do it. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. Now, Josh, what sort of challenges day to day do you have to face, kind of running this operation?
Yeah, well, out of the gate, not having owned a barbershop before. If you would have stepped in, you would have seen lighting that was out of a magazine of a trendy barbershop. It looked great. It made for bowl cuts. It was throwing shadows everywhere. It was horrible. So lighting was definitely something we struggled with on and off. We went through years of adding lighting until we eventually got it right.
Which is something that you wouldn't ever think of. At least I wouldn't, you think put up some lights and you're good, but you don't realize that having a good cut, relies on not having different shadows and being able to see everything a certain way, and also have the proper lighting to appeal to the customer. When they look in the mirror, it looks the way they want it, It's
exactly it. Yeah, so you can't have shadows. You don't want it too bright that people are getting headaches. You want it to be warm and inviting, so in that low color spectrum, but they still need to be able to see. And then the mirrors are the exact same thing. I did the end of the renos with my uncle, and we used adhesive glue type stuff to put the mirrors up, P&L specifically. And I didn't realize mirrors are really just glass with like adhesive on them. Well, guess what happened over a couple months was that ate through the adhesive, and clients would be in the chair, and all of a sudden, slowly, they're like, it's starting to look like a funny farm in here where
Yeah.
their faces were getting compressed. So I literally had a time where I came in after the shop closed, coveralls, goggles, everything taped closed, and with a hammer had to smash every mirror out,
Wow.
put new ones up, to be
Yeah.
ready for the next day, vacuum the entire shop. It was covered with dust
Yeah.
of glass. And then obviously staffing's huge.
Yeah.
We started with 4 chairs, quickly grew to 8. For as good as I could make the concept, it doesn't work without a good staff. The staff are the backbone of what the shop is. And then obviously everyone's schedules are different. Everyone has different circumstances in their lives. So just the day-to-day scheduling is a nightmare, but we work through it. We try to find the best staff we can, and we try to do everything we can to keep them happy. And a lot of that is being flexible with their scheduling. Right? For as good as we are, nobody wants to be working here all day long.
Yep.
We also are open 6 days a week. 5 of those days are 10 hours a day. So there's a lot of hours to get filled up. And you have to be here when people are ready to get a haircut. Right now we're in summer. A lot of people are out of school. The kids are out of school. The availability is different than it is when school is in. School's in, it's after 4 o'clock. We start to get swamped right till close at 7. And guess what? Our barbers have families too. They've got sports to get to, families to have supper with, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, the scheduling is really tough. And then just the day-to-day operations. I am the support. The barbers are the front. They have their daily interactions with the regulars and the walk-ins, whatever it be. And I do everything I can to support them, to let them do what they do well. So, that is fixing and replacing stuff as it breaks, because that just happens.
Yep.
Again, in an 1880 building, sometimes the power goes out. Cormel's downtown wiring because it's old. We might be out of power, they're on a power. There's product to stay stocked. A lot of it is typical business stuff. It's not necessarily unique to us. And it was very different at the beginning too. When we were 4 chairs and we're figuring out the processes. We used to do cash, now we don't do cash. Point of sales have changed over time. There's tracking, there's reporting, all that sort of stuff.
Now, how long did it roughly take to find the proper recipe that you run with today? Because like you said, with the mirrors, stuff like that, that's kind of trial by error figuring that out.
Yeah.
So how long did it take that you could kind of sit back and say like, the recipe is working right now?
Yeah, I would say it was probably closer to 4 years.
Yeah.
I think we grew to 8 chairs within the first 2 years. We actually, there was more demand. We're just like, there's nowhere else to put chairs, which is at the end of the day, it's fine. Like that's enough staff. We're good. But it was like the first couple years, the shop was just, it's working through the process, right? It's trying to find what works, where the products are, what products do we even want, what point of sales, and the shop wasn't making enough money for me to even draw a salary.
Yeah.
I was still working. I went back to the banking world, came back here, worked on it a bit. I'm like, okay, I think it's good. Went and found a job at a lumber yard. And you just keep it rolling, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't working, so came back here for another bit, and eventually, 4 or 5 years, you get it to be a well-oiled machine. Here we are, coming on 11 years, and I'm back with another job. But it's not because the shop needs me as much now as it is. I like to be busy.
Boo. Hey, I didn't mean to scare you guys. Hey, thanks for watching the episode. If I could ask a favor, just go down to that subscribe button and give that a little click. Remember, always support the little guy. So, Josh, in 2020, we all know that we had our COVID-19 global pandemic. Given the fact that your business relies on kind of being in close quarters with customers, what sort of challenges did you have with that, as well as what sort of adaptability needed to take place moving forward?
Yeah, so anyone that lived through COVID knows how difficult of a time that was. Policies were changing constantly, not just public policies, but for a surface industry, we had separate policies. So we were literally scrambling, trying to adapt to those. There was certain disinfectants you could use, you couldn't use, processes such as you have to soap something before you can disinfect it or it actually isn't clean. And if you ever are in a public bathroom where it's posted, it's obvious, but anyways, it's that sort of stuff. And maybe in hindsight too, if a cape wasn't dirty, if it didn't get wet or something, I wasn't sweaty in summer or something, like we would reuse capes. That was just common practice in the industry. Well, now it's a fresh cape for every customer, and we kind of like it that way.
Yeah.
It's just a nicer standard. I think the hardest thing as a business owner in COVID, like there was no way you could have prepared for that. I think that's part of the reason too. When I'd stepped away from second jobs, the business just needed more of me to handle that. The staff was uncertain. The people coming in were uncertain. We ended up being forced closed by the province 3 separate times. My staff did not know when they were coming back to work. If there would ever be barbershops again. Yeah. Like it was a very scary time.
And that was the thing, is like back then, like it's fine for things to be functioning now and it's in hindsight, but back then you didn't know what was going to happen, you know? Yeah. And even just like, you know, this, you said it's service industry, and that's generally they rely on quick turnovers, right? So like to limit how many people you could even have in here hurts the business. Like you could never succeed. You could run on fumes, best case scenario.
Yeah.
Is you could get just enough people in, you know, but you can't have walk-ins, right? You couldn't have
you can't have people. We couldn't have a waiting area.
Yeah.
They had to wait outside, and that didn't matter what time of year it was.
Yeah. It was just such an odd time, and it's something that you're grateful that things are, they say, back to normal. What normal is, I don't know nowadays, but you know, like back then it was that big unknown of like, tomorrow will this all be gone, you know?
Well, and I think at the same time, it was not only not knowing, like, does this go away ever, but there was a time when they thought it was essentially a black plague coming through. Like, you know, people were scared to come back to work to some degree. They knew they wanted to be here, and they wanted things the way it used to be, but like colds didn't go away in COVID, but you all of a sudden couldn't sneeze or cough.
Yeah.
Like this, just not real thing, you know? There was a bit of a funny thing that would happen where people were wearing their masks during a haircut. Well, guess what happens? Like you clip the thing and the mask falls off. Like
exactly.
You're like, we've never cut a guy with a mask on before.
Which is, just ridiculous. And also like your business is selling a certain thing. So it's selling the atmosphere. It's selling kind of, you know, the experience, and to have it be almost like you're met at the door with like, whoa. It's tough to sell that, you know, like, and sure, people need haircuts and beard trims and everything like that, but like the service that you started here, like you couldn't really offer, you know?
It's actually a really good point, Wade, because you're right. I like to think that we're environment first, and then the staff fill the gap of being a great experience. But it just wasn't that. That environment was 100% flipped upside down. Sure, we still played the music and the TVs and stuff were there, but it wasn't the loud social interaction that we're used to. Like some of my favorite days here, the chatter's loud because there's multiple conversations going on, like an old-time barbershop, and the music's pumping, and it's just a good vibe. Like that did not exist during COVID.
Yeah, and I think there's so many other, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but there's so many other places that sell the atmosphere that was taken away from them, you know, and it wasn't fair, you know, but I guess the good news is that's, you know, we're on to other things to worry about in life, I suppose, and you know, you're able to bring back that atmosphere. But for a while, it probably was challenging to welcome that back, because everybody kind of had a mindset of, you know, even you see with people like going out and saying like supporting live music, it still never has rebounded the way that it was before, and you know, that's based on providing an atmosphere for people, you know, so it must have been tough to kind of welcome that back, because it's not just like today certain atmosphere, tomorrow everything's back to normal. It's you develop a certain kind of mindset that's tough to shake, you know.
Absolutely. And then for sure there were people that were holding off on their services too. They're like, you know, I'm usually a 3 or 4 week haircut guy. All of a sudden they were 6 or 7 weeks because they just were so long. And I even had my wife cut my hair once. It looked like I had a ducktail at the back. Like I sent the picture around to the barbers. They're like, "Oh my God, don't ever let her cut your hair again." But it got to the point where you were so furry on your personal care that they're like, "Okay, I gotta get in there." But,
I looked relatively the exact same. my look hasn't really changed for years, but
Another COVID thing too, which was kind of a blessing, was cash. For as much as we sometimes get jeered for not accepting cash anymore, during COVID, like sharing stuff wasn't really a good thing to do, right? Like, so we made the decision, we're going point of sale only. which is obviously hard as a small business because you're paying the point of sale provider a percentage of everything you bring in. Obviously, there are some small businesses, especially barbershops, that maybe slip some under the table. I don't know. But we just got rid of all that. And the thing that it does, we don't only hire female barbers. We just happen to have only female barbers at the moment. We've had males go through, but right now on close, I don't have barbers double counting cash and making a deposit at the end of the night. It's a lot safer environment. I used to work at the bank. We had person pass a note across the counter. Like when you have cash on site, there is another element of risk of robbery, etc. So and then also just not even maintaining a flow. Like so there's a lot of good things that go with that too. For as much as COVID was a lot of hardship, there are some things that have long lasted: the capes, the cash, the cleaning processes being heightened. Even some customers, when they're ill, maybe I would like to think they're maybe a little more aware to not come into the shop because they're more aware they're going to get other people sick, and maybe your haircut isn't that important.
Yeah. And for me, it also, like you mentioned that like the girls don't have to be depositing cash and stuff like that. For me, it sucks because I always thought like my backup plan in life would be a bank robber or be able to rob people like that. And now that's taken away from a possible revenue source of mine, you know?
That would be frustrating for you.
Just ask for their credit cards and stuff like that. And that sucks. So Josh, how has the local community embraced Kings and Little Ones?
We're really fortunate to be in the downtown, I would say, off the hop. Bit of a stroke of luck. It's just the spot that stuck out to me. We happen to have a corner window, good parking, et cetera, and lo and behold, we're a little specialty shop, and this is where we belong. We belong in a downtown core where those shops are cohesive and they kind of build around each other as opposed to maybe a closer to a big box location, whatever that be. So I already mentioned a packed grand opening. That was the biggest compliment you could ever have. You're like, okay, I think people like what we're proposing here. I can maybe sleep tonight. And then in our first year, like we only opened in August, there was this annual, at the time, community awards that the Standard Freeholder put on, and we won favorite barbershop.
Wow! And in your first year?
In the first 5 months we'd been open, the community actually voted us favorite barbershop. And we won it every year until they actually stopped the awards, which was in the early 2000s or something. So I think we had like 5 or 6 consecutive years. And now there's other community awards in that. They're actually a marketing scam because you only get up there if you spend your money. But anyways, to me now, 11 years in, community embracing us. We're a scheduled appointment shop. When I open the schedule and it's full for the day. Today I had 1 appointment left at the beginning of the day. I had 6 barbers in here today. That's my community embracing me. That tells me that we're doing something correct. That's as good as it gets. Yeah,
and it should. Like you have a beautiful spot. I always say, and this is a longer conversation, but like I think Cornwall needs to more to embrace the downtown area because like you said, how old is this building? You know what I mean? Like there's so much history there, and you see in other cities kind of having something like this in a big box store. I think this adds to the character of being able to have something in a downtown that has so much history behind it, Yeah, we like to think so. I mean, that's why we're a good fit. We complement the restaurants, we complement the other little guys. We're trying to make a go at it. The rents do tend to be a little lower down here, so it fits us too, right? We also won Entrepreneur of the Year in the first thing too. Cornwall Chamber of Commerce Annual Business Excellence Awards. They awarded us like Entrepreneur of the Year. We're like, oh my God, like we got Barbershop of the Year, Entrepreneur of the Year. Like, woo! You got to quit my job. So far, so good. Made a right choice. Yeah. That's good. Is there any way that you like to give back to the community?
Yeah, for sure. So we've always tried to give back. We have a standing policy, $35 gift card for any charity that pops by with an official fundraising letter.
Okay.
We have a $500 annual bursary that we give out to a deserving high school student. And then we've just done various fundraisers. We've raffled Traegers, charity barbecues. We've done bottle drives. We had about $10,000 in branded sweaters that we essentially collected donations towards. And then Beyond 21 tends to be our go-to charity locally.
Okay.
And I have some family that benefited from their services many years ago. So it's very nice to give back that way.
That's perfect.
We actually even sponsored a hockey team for jerseys. I have no clue where those jerseys are today.
Oh, jeez.
They're out there in someone's basement, or someone's going to pop up and have a Kings of Little Ones hockey team someday.
Oh, I want one of those jerseys.
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I think I have, we got one extra made maybe at the front. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Good. So, Josh, part of the whole indie business thing is we profile the small business. I sit down with the owner, and the last bit of it is I perform inside the business. Are you cool if I play a song in here?
I'd love if you played here, Wade.
Cool, let's go. My dad is going to love that I'm playing this little keyboard thing. I hear you calling at night time, don't seem so long. My prayers answered, who cares now what's right or wrong? Fire burns the sky bright, it's a nighttime phenomenon. Long way till daylight, the souls that we're waiting on. Swim against the undertow, nah, 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 nah. Struggle with me with letting go, nah, 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 nah. More we feel, the less we know, nah, 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 nah. Take my hand as we walk the path we're righteous. Better put your hands together on knees and pray. Yeah, my friend, the devil's on his way. Watch your step now, careful who you serve. What you're bound to is what you deserve. Swim against the undertow, nah, 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 nah. Trouble with me with letting go, nah, 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 nah. More we feel, the less we know, nah, 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 nah. Take my hand as we walk the path of righteous. Better put your hands together on knees and pray. Yeah, my friend, the devil's on his way. Watch your step now, careful who you serve. What you're bound to is what you deserve. Song that got me banned from a church in Pembroke, Ontario.
Cool. Very cool. Very cool.
Thank you.
Very cool.
That song was Preaching Ain't Easy by my band Parliament of Owls. Check it out wherever you get any of your internet music stuff. And true story, that song actually did get me banned from a church in my hometown. I tried to shoot a music video, they called me a Satanist, and the rest, as they say, is history. I'm Wade Barris, and on behalf of my production partner, Aydyn Knifer, we would like to thank owner Josh Casselman of Kings and Little Ones in Cornwall, Ontario. This is indie business, and remember to always support the little guys. Is Walker... Oh wait, I'm looking at that one. Oh shit, there, we'll do it again. Just wait till it like gets... Yeah, there.
Do this.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Na 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 na.